Okay, everyone, we are driving, obviously. I'm taking my friend Ginny, who's holding my computer right now, to her car, and then we're going to do the live. Yay! So hang out with me as we get safely to our destination as we drive through Santa Fe.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes. Say hi, Ginny.
Hi.
Hi. So there's a few of you joined live. Ooh, what was that? So we are going to be talking about Warrior Goddess Wild. Hi, everyone. I am driving through Santa Fe to my friend Ginny's car where I'm dropping her off. She's holding my computer right now. And we're almost there. So hang out with me as we get ourselves safely to our destination, which will be in like 3 or 4 minutes. And then we'll talk about Warrior Goddess Wild and where we are in our challenge. It's day 3 of our challenge. And today we're talking about what stops you. I love that there's snow on the mountain still.
Tell that to California.
That's true. California, that's completely under snow. So hey to everyone who's joining, hang out with me for a minute while we drive to where I'm dropping my friend Ginny off. It'll take a moment. But I wanted to jump on so I didn't lose the live. I pre-schedule it and sometimes it doesn't love it when I don't show up. Oh, here we are. Look, Gigi.
And I'd like to point out that Heather Ash is doing me an extraordinary favor. And so this is kind of my doings, and I'm really grateful, and I appreciate the class is getting off to an interesting start. But, it's like what stops us? Nothing
stops us. We still make things happen. All right, Gigi, whoever you are in front of us. You are lost, obviously.
So with all my love and gratitude, thank you guys for supporting Heather Ash being the total goddess heroine that she is today.
Yay! All right. Perfect. We are here. Putting my phone right there. And you get to hang out with Demi for a second. Yay, isn't this fun? Traveling with Heather Ash and Demi. 1 second. Alrighty. Hey, we're going live. Okay, I'm just going to move. This is going to not go well. Give me a second. All right. As Ginny said, we will make shit happen. So I'm just about to drive. Demi, it's okay. That's a friend. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. You need to keep up? Hey, enough. Okay. Demi. Demi. La, la, la. All right, I'm just finding a good spot to turn around and park so I can hang out with you all. that this is not a great place. Okay, this is a better place. Dun, dun, dun. Loving the adventure. Okay. Hi. All right. So sorry about that, everybody. So, you know how you have days where you think it's going to go one way and then it does not go that way? Demi, are you just going to growl at this person? Come up front. Come on. So, hi. Good morning. Good to see everyone. Good girl. So Demi and I are in Santa Fe. We just dropped my friend Ginny off at her car, which did not finish yesterday as it was supposed to. So anyway, good to be here. I'm so glad that I could make it for our Warrior Goddess Wild. We are on day 3 of our challenge, and I'm doing Facebook Lives to just share about the challenge, to share where we're at, to talk about, today we're talking about what stops you. You're talking about guilt and shame and blame in relationship to pleasure and play. So the places that we get our fire squished or dampened by these different emotions that are often based in agreements. So, hey everyone, if you're joining live, go ahead and share in the chat where you're tuning in from. If you're joining us later, hopefully I can go in and clip the beginning part of that because that was crazy. But it is day 3 of our Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge. Hey Paula. And I'm so grateful for technology that I can tune in from my car in Santa Fe. Hey, Jennifer. Yay. So Valerie's here, Paula, Jennifer, and for all of you that are watching later, just know if you have any questions or anything that you want to share, please feel free to reach out at hello@warriorgoddess.com. Hey, Ailish. Hello, tuning in from Michigan. Cold Kentucky. Hey, Lorena. Beautiful. Great. So, what does it mean to be wild? For me, what it means to be wild is that we are connected to our animal self, to our instinct, to our really deep connection with nature, that we have gone beyond the constraints of the places that we try to fit in, be perfect, do it the way we think we're supposed to do it. Yeah, exactly, Lorena. Hey, Sarah from Denmark. So being wild is about connecting to the natural state of our being and finding that inner freedom and that inner creativity. Because one of the things about beings that are wild, humans that are wild, women that are wild, is that we are tapped into creating adventure and being creative and joyous and exploring and experimenting. We're not afraid to make mistakes. We're not afraid to play, to try new things, to explore, and to also just deal with whatever arises. So like my world today was about having to navigate shifts. So that's why I'm doing this from my car, because hey, let's make it happen anyway. Hey Mo from Morro Bay, good to see you. Hey Michelle, Wyoming, under snow. Hey Ara, Apache Canyon. Oh Jennifer, I love that you're doing the book club too. That's great. Yeah, exactly. I love the play is not a reward mindset. Thank you for that shift. You are welcome, because that is so true. So okay, so we're going to talk about these 3 pleasure smashers, what I call. So day 3, Warrior Goddess Wild, the theme for today is what stops you. And part of what I wrote about in today's video and today's challenge and talked about is these 3 pleasure smashers, which is deservability, perfectionism, and guilt. Those are so good. I'm just reading it off of my thing. So deservability, perfectionism, and guilt. As we reconnect with our pleasure and with that sense of play and that sense of joy that we all have innately in our being, that the places that we stop ourselves are often connected to how we've learned to be, to agreements, to having challenges in our life, and then getting into a place where we just stay in a really serious mode. So this isn't about, and I've talked about this every day that we talk about the challenges, this isn't about pretending like there aren't hard times or just saying, I'm just going to ignore the places that are difficult. It's really about recognizing that in our relationship with life, there's going to be challenges and there's going to be smooth areas. And that what helps us to smooth out this is bringing in more play and pleasure, being more creative in our relationship with life, and also not creating pleasure as a reward. If I'm good, if I do it right, if I deserve pleasure, or if I'm perfect, then I can have pleasure. Taking those out, really releasing ourselves from those old ways of being where we are telling ourselves, I have to do something to deserve pleasure. You don't have to do anything to deserve pleasure. You don't have to do it, deserve to play. You don't have to be deserving to play. You get to play. Hey, Yvonne, yay, glad you made it. And hey, Alberta, Canada. So how many of us create this block to pleasure and to play by the number one, what I call the number one pleasure smasher, which is this idea of I have to deserve it. I have to do something to deserve. And a lot of us, what I've noticed about women is that we have a tendency, this is true for not just women, but especially for women, we have a tendency to apologize for everything. So have you ever noticed somebody steps on your toe or somebody bumps into you and you apologize for that, even though it was they're coming into your space? We often habitually apologize without even realizing it. And part of that apology is wrapped up in, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to take up space. So we're literally apologizing for taking up space. So check this out in your own life. I didn't really believe this until I started really watching myself and talking to other women, because I thought I apologized because I had done something that I needed to apologize for. But when I really started watching the places that I apologized, what I realized is I was apologizing for everything. I was apologizing if someone stepped on my foot. I was apologizing if I made somebody uncomfortable. And when I tracked it, I realized that really what I was apologizing for was just taking up space. And I've talked to a lot of women since I realized that many, many years ago, that also recognize that that's what they're doing as well. And that it just becomes a habit. These dammies right next to me. So it is such an ingrained thing and tricky to navigate. Exactly. Hey, Shanae from the UK, first-time listener. Awesome, glad that you made it. We are talking about pleasure and play as part of the Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge that we're doing. This is day 3, and today, day 3 is about pleasure smashers. So I'm going to share the URL for the challenge, which is wildwitchywise.com. You don't need a www, I've now learned. So if you want to join the challenge, even if you're just new here and you haven't been with us, you are so welcome to join. You can catch up on all the videos, and the videos are short. They're between 5 to 10 minutes. Quick videos every day, a task, a focus, we should say, and then support for that task and focus through the day. So today's focus, day 3, is on pleasure smashers, and we're looking at deservability, perfectionism, and guilt as pleasure smashers. So if you want to join us, please go wildwitchywise.com. It's free. It's a 7-day challenge. We're in day 3. You can always catch up on the back things that are happening. And I'd love to have you be on this journey. I love doing challenges, especially these kind of shorter week-long challenges, because it helps us to get traction on working on one thing in our life and learning how to free ourselves from the ways that we've domesticated and really dampen down our enthusiasm, our energy, our creativity is what Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge is all about. It's about freeing us up to be more playful, like this little girl, Demi, right here. Demi, say hi. And to really start to look at the places where we are smashing and smushing and dampening down our energy and our creativity and our inspiration. Yeah. Oh, I grew up in Germany. Hi, Marianne. Living in Canada. I said from day one after my immigration, Canadians apologize for everything, but it doesn't have real meaning. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, Natalie from Quebec. Bonjour. Yay. So yeah, exactly. And it's like that in the States as well, is that people apologize all the time, but there's nothing behind it. It's a habit. And it's often, I'm in the way somehow. Yeah, Demi is growing up. She is. So, and one of the things that I love teaching that I write about in Warrior Goddess Way, in my book Warrior Goddess Way, is this idea of not apologizing for unconsciously and how to learn how to really apologize. Because when we're apologizing unconsciously, there's nothing behind it. There's nothing there. It's just a habit. And often every time we do it, we shrink. So watch yourself. The next time you apologize unconsciously, notice what's happening in your body, because usually what you're trying to do is make yourself smaller and pull back. Okay. Or it's not, you're just not even realizing that you're doing it. We play a game in the Warrior Goddess community. So whenever I do workshops, we set up agreements with each other at the beginning of the workshop. And one of the agreements that we all make is that if we hear somebody apologizing, or if we catch ourselves apologizing for anything that is more habit, that anytime you hear somebody apologizing, your response to them is, "You're beautiful." It's such a fun game because it rewires us kind of back into pleasure. Often when we're trying to break old agreements and habits, hello, my girl, I know. When we're trying to break old agreements and habits, what we often do is when we catch ourselves doing it is we immediately punish ourselves. I shouldn't be doing that. Why am I doing that? And what we learn in the Warrior Goddess community is how to unwind that, so that instead of punishing yourself when you're doing something you don't want to do, you actually open into oops and redirect your energy. And by doing something like saying you're beautiful, what happens is everybody's heart opens. And instead of punishing ourselves, we're like, oops, okay, redirect my focus, redirect my energy. So you can do that with yourself. Whenever you notice yourself apologizing in an unconscious way, or in a way that you're trying to demean or diminish yourself, okay, when it's a habit, say to yourself, "You're beautiful. Okay, sweetie, redo." Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so play with that. And then we get to learn how to really apologize, how to be consciously present if we need to apologize for something, that we apologize. Ooh, thank you for sharing that. Facebook user, so I don't know what your name is because it's not showing up, but somebody just shared, "I feel like I apologize a lot to stay safe." Yes. Wow, that's big. Hey, Mary. Good to see you, sweetheart. That's really big. Yeah, so notice, are you safe without apologizing? Can you bring that sense of safety into your body without apologizing? Because yeah, that becomes a habit that's from trauma and that's from the past. Yeah. Yvonne, I think I was pronouncing your name correctly. Let me know if I am not. I just did that for a group in my treatment. It's a Wellbriety group. Oh, I like that. Wellbriety. Thank you. What a great word for Native Americans. I said I was sorry. I quickly corrected myself and said, "I'm not sorry," because I'm not. Yeah. I'm trying to do my best. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And then when you say sorry, you mean it. It's conscious. And you can bring your whole heart and your whole being to a genuine apology. It's so beautiful. Okay. So, truth be told, I kind of open myself up, putting myself some positions where I don't really want to do what I'm doing. Yeah, I think we all do. And we need to be more conscious around that. Yeah. Yeah. So we are talking, hey, to everyone who's joining. My name's Heather Ashmara. Hi. And we are doing a Warrior Goddess Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge. So I got distracted because I'm parked very poorly. And that's okay, he's backing up. Perfect. Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge. Today is day 3. If you haven't joined us for the challenge, it's all free. And you can join us at wildwitchywise.com. Super easy to join. Just put your name and your email address in. You'll get a little video every day for the next 7 days. Well, we're on day 3, so we have got 4 more days to go. But you'll also get the back videos as well. And you can watch them for a week. You have a week to watch them. We're talking today about what I call pleasure smashers, because Warrior Goddess Wild is really about re-engaging ourselves with play, with pleasure, with joy, with our creative, yummy, exploratory, willing to make mistakes, what I call wild child self. And that wild part of us is, when we're young, when we're born, we are connected to that wild. We are playful, we are joyous, we are exploratory, we are curious. We're not afraid to make mistakes. And then as we grow and start having experiences and start getting domesticated, we usually start diminishing our energy and thinking, I need to adult, I can't play. It's not safe to play. I don't deserve to play. So we're talking today about the pleasure smashers that keep us from play and pleasure, and that keep us from our wild, creative, wonderful, wonder-inspired self. And the first one we were talking about is deservability. We then started talking about apologizing and how to not apologize for everything. And that we deserve to take up space. We deserve to have pleasure. We deserve to play. We deserve to make mistakes. We deserve to be fully human. Okay. The second pleasure smasher is perfectionism. Sometimes ridiculed for play, very smooshy. It's so good to play, though. And I always feel like people that, kind of turn their noses down, or like, you shouldn't be playing, or you shouldn't be enjoying yourself. Because sometimes I have a similar thing where something's hard and I make light of it, not because I'm diminishing it, but because I want my heart to be fully engaged and present. And bringing a sense of play to things actually helps me show up more and be more present and not try and bypass it. So Kelly, let's start a club. Yay for people that play. And for those people that don't get the play, oh well, they can be serious. We can let them be serious. Right? Yeah. It's almost like when you're being a child, like as an adult, and other adults look at you like you're silly. Yeah. I would rather be silly and have people think that, I don't know, whatever, that I shouldn't be playing, than be serious and be grinding my own energy down. Because whenever you close, play helps us to open. And whenever we close, what we're closing to is our own intuition, our own creativity, our own joy. Yeah. And just a reminder for those of you that are new, that my idea of pleasure is whatever brings you pleasure. And that might be gardening. It might be going for long walks. It might be, I actually take great pleasure sometimes in doing taxes or doing really hard number stuff. I don't really love numbers, but there's a way that when I get in, it's really pleasurable because I'm taking care of something difficult. So pleasure isn't just about like, I'm going to take a bath, which is great. More baths for sure. And more like playing with the animals and the kids and all that sort of thing. And also, how do we find pleasure in the things that are challenging? Part of that is looking at these pleasure smashers. And the next one we're going to talk about is perfectionism. So where are ways that we try to be perfect? We try to not make mistakes. We try to people please, because often perfectionism is connected to people pleasing. And when we do that and hold this place of I need to be perfect, what often happens is we're not willing to make mistakes. And imagine your life if you're spending your whole life trying to not make a mistake. And one, who defined what a mistake is? And who do you think is watching you? Like, who are you? Rather, what's happening when we're perfectionists in that way is we either have, and usually both, have a really solid idea of what perfection is, what it means to be perfect. But if you really look at it, it changes. It's not static. Usually it's our judge that's deciding what's perfect, and our judge is then punishing ourselves for not following this image of perfection. And we're constantly criticizing and comparing ourselves. And it's not static. It changes constantly. You can't win. That's one of the things about perfectionism. You can't win. And same thing with trying to please others and being perfect in the way that you please others. You can't please everybody. There's no way. And when we slip into those roles of trying to be perfect or pleasing everyone else, trying to be what we think other people want us to be, then what happens is we fall further and further away from our authentic expression and truth, and further and further away from our own pleasure as well. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I get so busy doing for family members and sticking to daily schedules that I lose sight of joyful moments in play. It's a grind, like you said. Yes. And this is with the rewire that we're doing through the Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge, is we're learning how to bring play into all the moments. So it's not that you're going to get your day done and like please everybody or do for everybody else, and then you can have pleasure at the end of the day for yourself. What we want to learn to rewire in our beings is that you can be creating pleasure as you go. You can be playing as you go. That when we let go of trying to be perfect, we then naturally, I believe, I know, I've seen this, we naturally start to play and explore and reconnect with our pleasure, because that's our natural state. Being connected to our pleasure is actually our natural state, sweethearts. It really, really is. Okay. So third pleasure smasher is guilt. Places where we have pleasure and then we feel guilty for it later. So again, if we're trying to take care of everything around us and trying to navigate and control or please everyone or keep ourselves safe, what happens is that when we do have pleasure, we feel guilty about it, because we're like, oh, well, I must be taking it away from somebody else, or I should really be pleasing them, or I'm being selfish. Okay, so please pay attention, get curious about yourself. When you do allow yourself or find yourself having pleasure throughout your day, do you feel guilty about it? And then the question is, why? Be curious about why. Oh, Yvonne, I'm so glad. I love that you said, I woke up in a pretty crappy mood this morning. I don't know, very negative and moody. I'm so glad I was able to catch this. You're so welcome, sweetheart. Yeah. And as a child, I never really got to be a child. So it's really hard to connect to the inner child and be more playful and childlike. So part of Warrior Goddess Challenge is the Warrior Goddess Wild is you're going to get different ways to do it. So if you haven't signed up, if your ears are perking up and you're like, oh, right, I don't really know how to play, or I'm not sure I have these pleasure smashers. I do go into deservability. I do go into perfectionism. I do go into guilt. Then go join the challenge. There's so much good resources. And I know, Yvonne, that you're already in. But any of you that aren't, please do, because it really is supportive. And it's supportive in how do we do our lives in a new way so that we're weaving in our own joy, our own gratitude, our own pleasure, our own sense of play, that we're finding more lightness in our relationship with ourselves. And why I'm so passionate about this work and why I love sharing the Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge is because I know with how challenging the world is and how complicated our lives can become, we need access to our creativity and our intuition. And one of the main ways through that is reconnecting with our bodies and honoring our bodies and bringing in more pleasure, reconnecting with our senses. Hi, Doe. Oh my God, so funny. Yay. All right. So any questions? I'm actually about to go do something pleasurable. I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I was up at 3 a.m. this morning working for a good 4 hours, getting some projects done. I'm going to be doing an online class. I'm excited. I'll be doing a 4-part series we just decided on wild, willing, and wise based on my book. So for those of you that are already in the Warrior Goddess Training Circle, that will be part, we'll put that in the circle, brand new. And for those of you that are just joining, join the Wild, Willing, Wise Challenge so that you can get information about also what's coming up next as well, and so that you can get access to the challenge. Hey, Ailish, I fall under a mix of deserving and perfectionism. I feel that I'm not playing right agreement. Oh, that's a good one. I'm sitting there with there's no right or wrong way to play. Exactly. There is no wrong or right way to play. So think about your daughter, and would you say, no, you're not playing right? Like, kids play the way they play, and they play and they have fun with things that we might not think are fun, but to them it's incredibly joyous. And kids and animals are really good models of play, right? Yeah, love it. So I'm going on an adventure today. Franklin and I are going, he's going to take me somewhere. We're going on a big drive, so I'm excited. That's one of my favorite ways to play, is to go someplace I don't know and have little adventures. So today is an adventure day for me. So I'll be heading off. Yes, good. I love it, Doe. Yes, I'm getting more in connection, being more playful with my dog, Ginger. Yay. Yeah. And also just go into nature and watch animals in nature. Like, even when an animal is startled, you know, when I am up on the ranch and I watch the deer will get startled and they'll look around and they'll get really alert, and then they go back to just hanging out. Yeah, and the pleasure of eating, the pleasure of being with each other. So animals are such a great reflection of how to play. And remember, you are an animal as well. So your body knows how to play. Your body likes playing. It's good. So thanks for joining me today. And thanks for those of you that were on early as I was navigating driving to a place. It was just one of those days. So grateful that I was able to be on Warrior Goddess with you all today. Paula, I love watching the American traffic. So different. Yes, that's so funny. So yeah, and this is downtown Santa Fe. I'm heading home now. I've got about an hour drive to get home, and then I'm going on my adventure for the day, and then I'm going up to Warrior Heart Ranch. Thank you. Yeah, so take good care, everyone. So grateful to be able to connect with you in this way today and to navigate challenges, to share about those 3 pleasure smashers: deservability, perfectionism, and guilt. And I love it. Be more like a bird. A bird sings every morning, no matter what. Exactly, Marianne. I love that. You're welcome, Jean. So if you haven't joined Warrior Goddess Wild, please do. It is free. There's really amazing information and support and bite size. I always try to create things that are bite size so that we do them, because it makes it easier in that way. Little baby steps. wildwitchywise.com. I'm going to share it one more time in the chat. wildwitchywise.com. Boom. There we go. Wild Witchy Wise. So come and play with me. I'll be back on Sunday. I'm going up to the land. I'll be off grid this weekend. But I'll be back on Sunday to do another Warrior Goddess Wild check-in. And I think it's already set up in StreamYard. There's Miss Demi, who's finally gone to sleep. All right, beloveds. Take good care of yourself and keep undoing those pleasure smashers. You don't have to be deserving. You are here, therefore you are deserving. You don't have to be perfect. You're already perfect just the way you are. I know that never lands right, because people are like, no, I'm not. But you don't have to be perfect. Let's try that. You get to be flawed, and we all get to and make mistakes and navigate life the best that we can, and know that we're all in this together. And you also don't have to be guilty. There's no spiritual brownie points for being guilty. Okay. And let's learn when we do something that is out of integrity for us or that hurts someone else to apologize creatively, fully, with our heart, that we actually show up and apologize. Okay. If there is guilt, that the guilt is showing you, ooh, you're out of integrity, fix it. And then you let go of the guilt. Okay. Sometimes guilt can be a like, hey, over here, just like anger. Hey, over here, pay attention to this. But you don't have to live in it. You don't have to bathe and like rub yourself all over with guilt. Okay. Yeah. It's a point, it can be a pointer to get you to change your behavior. Okay. And sometimes it means you need more support if you're having a hard time changing your behavior, and more skills. Yeah. So come join us if you haven't already. I know a lot of you have. So sending love to those of you that are already part of the Warrior Goddess Wild Challenge. We're in day 3. For those of you that are new, please join along. Warrior Goddess Wild. It's at Wild Witchy Wise. I'll be back on Sunday. You'll have a couple more lessons between now and then to digest. If you're just learning about this now, you can go back and listen to lessons 1 and 2 if you want to. The lessons will be up for about a week, and there's also really beautiful downloads to help guide you every day. And I love you just the way you are. You don't need to be perfect. You are deserving. You don't have to believe you're deserving. You are deserving. And you get to take up space and be wild and creative and joyful and connect to your own pleasure. Take care, dear ones. Bye. Ara, they are at wildwitchywise.com. So sign yourself up there. Wild Witchy, I'll share it one more time. And put your email in and you'll get the lessons to your inbox. They come straight to you. You just have to share it with your email address and boom, those lessons will go automatically to you. All right. Yay. Hope you join us. Take care, sweets. Bye.